It is the Mac and Murray College Football Show. Welcome in, everyone. It is the Week 7 preview edition. We appreciate everyone joining us right now and then obviously watching all of our great content, whether it's on our social media or on this channel. A lot of great stuff. We love the feedback. We love the interaction. Continue to watch the quarterback breakdowns. EMAC is doing some breakdowns of the offensive line, and I think did one on Bain there for Miami as well. So go check that out. Lots of good stuff on the channel. Like, subscribe, all that good stuff. All right. It is a monster week in college football. We thought 2 weeks ago was great. This weekend may be even better. It is loaded up, and these are the games we'll be breaking down right now. Oklahoma, Texas, Alabama, Missouri, Indiana, Oregon, Georgia, Auburn, Ohio State, Illinois, Florida, Texas, and Michigan, USC, and USF, North Texas on Friday night to get things going. Two teams with dreams of making it to the playoffs at the end of the season from the group of five. So, EMAC, it's loaded, is excited. Where do you want to start off first?
Listen, I think what we need to do is just acknowledge how lucky we are to keep getting great football game after great football game. I mean, last week, the 3:30 slate was like unconscious. I mean, it was unreal. We had 6 TVs on and we're just like ping ponging all the way across, just looking and watching this thing. And we get it again, man, with absolutely massive games. But I don't think there's anywhere else but the Red River Rivalry that we got to start this thing because there's a lot of juice. Oklahoma, I don't know if you know this, has been practicing indoors. Nobody wants to know if John Mateer's back. Oh my gosh, is he back? Who knows?
Sneaky.
Who knows? It's funny, man. It's cool. So this is a huge rivalry, and I cannot wait to watch this thing. It's going to be massive.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. The Red River Rivalry. Someone who grew up with a little bit of a speech impediment, get a little bit difficult at times for me if I had to say it fast. Red River Rivalry, Red River Rivalry. But yes, this is it's a big game, man. It's a big moment, obviously, for both teams. Oklahoma wants to stay in the top 10, and Texas needs to figure out on offense. And let's start there first. I want to start with Texas. This offense, Arch, and the offensive line, because it has been a problem all year. It was a problem against lesser opponents from the group of five. It was a major problem a week ago against Florida. The inability to give Arch time to throw the football, the receivers' inability themselves to create separation, and then Arch's eyes being in the wrong spot. Once again, if you've not seen my breakdown on Arch and that offense, go watch that down, the great details about all the issues. It's not just one, it's not two, it's 3, 4 things going on with this offense. And right now, it's like they have to bring out the entire bag of tricks, reverses, double passes, sneak routes by receivers. I mean, they have to kind of get exotic in their play calling because they just don't have the personnel this year. And the problem is you ain't going to solve all those issues in a week. You may not even solve one of those issues. I don't even know if they have what time to solve one of those issues in a week. You need a bye week to figure some of that stuff out. Going against Oklahoma and that defense, we joked about it this weekend, but the more I watch it, the more I am truly concerned that Arch Manning could get hurt in this football game because of his offensive line, how good Oklahoma's defensive line is.
No question. No question. And that's exactly where I want to transition to this Oklahoma defense. And, you know, it's funny because of the relationship with Coach Venables and him being my defensive coordinator, you know, in college and just following them very closely, talking to him from time to time, things of that nature. And when he, you know, said in that press conference, someone asked him about calling plays and he kind of rattled off a list about calling plays on the defense. He's saying all these things and then he kind of finishes it with, and I'm kind of good at it, you know, and everybody's like, okay, we see it. But there were a lot of questions and people were saying, oh, they're desperate. Oh, they've got to do this. They've got to do that. Let me just read some stats to y'all. These are national. These are NCAA #1 in the country. Total defense, opponent yards per play, sacks per game, tackles for loss, third down conversion percentage, opponents punting, so they're punting the ball all the time, and scoring defense is second. These guys are unbelievable. And it's not like they're just playing FCS teams. They played Michigan, they played Auburn, they played an SEC game. It is real out there. And what they're bringing, how they're bringing it, the exotic nature of it. Arch is not going to know what he's looking at. He is going to be so confused. He is going to be guessing. He is going to be running early, getting out of the pocket. Just what we saw last week against Florida. You're going to see the exact same thing, only
it needs to be worse.
It's a better defense.
Yes, I think it's going to be worse. I think right now his eyes are slow. Even on the touchdown route to the post route, he kind of lucked into it. He should have been looking that direction the entire time. It was a dig route. So for those listening on audio, a 10-yard dig with a post route over top. And also for our listeners on YouTube, don't forget, if you're in the car, we are on everywhere that you have a podcast. Go like, and subscribe there, leave a comment and a review, all that good stuff. But anyways, a 10-yard dig, so 10 yards over the middle, then a post right on top. It was cover four. Multiple times in this game, you had two high safeties with some sort of that combination, and he's not looking to that side. So I don't know if it's a Steve Sarkisian in the way he is teaching it, or if Arch is just not seeing it right. But I think this is, basic quarterback knowledge. If you have that kind of concept against a quarter defense, so a shell defense, the post route has a really good chance to get open.
Yeah.
And he's looking to the right, gets off of it because of pressure, moves up, then spots the post route wide open, throws it for a touchdown. It's like your eye should have been there from the very beginning. He's not seeing the defense well, and it's affecting obviously his progression within the offense. And you're going up against what you just alluded to, a defense that's going to show you a lot, a defense that's going to get you off your spot, that's going to make you move. And I can say this from experience: when you get hit, and when you've just been hit the way he was hit against Florida, got smacked around a bunch, and then you turn the tape on and watch Oklahoma smack around and get after the quarterback, 21 sacks, tied for the lead in SEC, 50 TFLs. Like, they get after you. It's hard for me to think that Arch Manning is going to go into this game with a lot of confidence to sit in the pocket and throw the ball down the field. He's going to be like 1-2, let me get out.
Yes.
And you could not be a successful quarterback if your mindset is, I got to protect myself. It's just not going to work, Mac.
And it is going to be fascinating because as you just mentioned, that progression and how delayed or late he was getting to it, that ain't happening. You don't have time to be late in this game. I mean, they are going to bring it. That's his MO. That's been his MO for as long as he's been a defensive coordinator. He's bringing pressure. He is sending blitzes. He is overloading something. And even if he overloads, he might not come from that side. He might come from the backside. He is going to put these guys in very adverse situations and make them make a decision. And I'll tell you, one of the hardest things, Aaron, for an offensive lineman is maybe you go, with a couple of two techniques, over the guards, and then you walk up double A gap mug, two linebackers, and whichever way the center goes, that guy's dropping. Like you can't be right. You can't be right. They're going to make you wrong, or they're going to cross dog and just try to get on your hip, knock you out of place. It is going to be fascinating to see that chess match. And I got to ask you this question. What would you do if you're Sarkisian and you've got this young quarterback who's, not, playing that great right now, and you've got an elite defense that is going to be sending it? What are you doing? What kind of plays are you calling? What kind of concepts are you running? Because you can't just run your offense. There's no way that's happening.
No. I mean, like you said, you got to get into your back. You got to make a defense like that go sideline to sideline sometimes too. So, like I said, reverses, jet sweeps, get Arch on the move, get him running. Create some easy throws to get him in rhythm early. Obviously, screens, tunnel screens, back screens, sneak routes. Sometimes you're gonna have to 7-man pro it up and just say, hey, Arch, this is our opportunity to take a shot, but you also have to be smart about it. Like, hey, if it's not there, then run around or throw it out of bounds. Just because we're calling a shot doesn't mean that you just automatically have to throw the shot. But if you want to throw the ball down the field, Texas is not going to be able to do a 5-man protection and have the time to throw it. And you bring up like, what Venable does, and he brings all these pressures. We've seen Texas give up pressure with just 4-man pressure. So like if I'm Venables, I don't even feel like I have to. Like, I could play coverage, and with how good our defensive line is, we should be able to still get after the quarterback within 3 seconds and then still have 7 guys on the back end. So I'm very interested to see, does he go the aggressive route, or does he say like, we are just better than them up front, and we can still play coverage, get after the quarterback, and stop the runs. You asked what they can do. Like I said, those are some of the ideas past game. Obviously, you would love to run the football. Always takes pressure off. I don't think that's going to happen. I think they're in big trouble. Like, let's just be honest. Like, we're trying to manufacture ways in which Texas has success. But if you can't block, you can't do anything. And they can't block. And this is the best defense in the country, and one of the best defensive lines in the country. They are in trouble. Arch is in trouble. The only way they have success in this game, we'll flip over to the other side, is if they can get after what I believe is going to be the starting quarterback for Oklahoma, is Michael Hawkins Jr. Came in last year, played well. I thought he played well a week ago versus Kent State. So he's had 2 weeks, the bye week, and then obviously versus Kent State to go out there and play. A little concerned with his footwork. He throws the ball a little bit funky at times. High risk, can make some crazy throws. I put one on Twitter where he's throwing around a defensive lineman on a dagger route, which was incredible. But then he misses a bunch of easy stuff because his feet are all over the place.
Right.
So you may get some big ones. You may get some of those like, what the hell are you doing? And you may get some turnovers. Texas is going to have to disrupt him. They're going to have to get some turnovers and have to get some short fields and take advantage. And I think that's the only way they score points.
I agree. Scoring with your defense or making something happen. But also think in the back of my mind, which we haven't seen consistently, and even against Kent State, it wasn't great. Oklahoma running the football,
Yeah.
but are you able to grind it out enough to where you just make this uncomfortable? Like you trust your defense. If we score 17, we're good. Like, is that kind of the mindset
But
that
is
Oklahoma
Texas'
is
defense
in?
even that good? They just got exposed by
Right.
Florida.
I mean, that's a good point. But I'm just saying the inability from Oklahoma. I mean, even against
Yeah.
Kent
Oh,
State,
yeah.
they're running for 40, one attempts on for 180 yards. Like that's not world beaters, right? And
Yeah.
so what can you do there? How much do you want Michael to push the ball downfield or try to make plays with his arm when you just say, hey, it's a race to 17. We get there, we're good. We're fine. We're gonna
Shit, it
win
may
this
be a
game.
race at 10.
Maybe a
I'm
single
telling
digit
you.
race. Who knows? And then
I
also
mean,
in the back of my mind,
I think turnovers are the key for Texas.
100%.
Getting turnovers is the only way for success.
Yeah, I agree with you. I agree with you. And does John Mateer make like a WWE entrance and everybody just
No.
loses their mind? I would love to see that. I need to see that guy
I don't know
back
if
on
you
the field.
wanna do that to your quarterback and if he's not fully ready, because even if you lose this game, you
Well,
still have
take
everything in
me in
front of
that.
you.
Take me in that mindset. Let's say you're playing Auburn or you're playing Bama or you're playing whoever, and you've only been at Georgia
Of
for a
course, the
year.
player's gonna
You're
wanna
only there a
play. Like,
year.
you're asking a guy who in high school over here broke his leg and then 6 weeks later played in a state semifinals game and then a state championship game,
That's what I'm saying.
essentially on 1 foot, wearing I
That's what
had
John
so much
Mateer's gonna
tape on
do.
my leg I couldn't move.
He's playing.
But it's
John
a little bit
Mateer's gonna
different
play.
because I'm a thrower. My hand was
That
fine, my
is
arm
true.
was fine,
It's true. I
I
don't
just
need his
didn't
leg.
move.
Chop it off.
Yeah,
It's just in the
so
way,
I don't know, man, like, I still think that there's a lot for Oklahoma to get this season,
Yeah.
even if he does not play in this game or if if they lose,
Yeah.
to where, like, if he's
Well,
not
I don't think
100%
they need him. Honestly, I don't think they need him. Like
and I
Texas does
agree, I
not
think
do
they
it.
could trust their defense to win it.
Yeah, I agree.
So we both like Oklahoma in this game?
I think it's 1.5. Texas is favored for whatever god awful reason. Yeah, give me Oklahoma money line. Let's go.
Yeah, God. I mean, what's the line for it does Archman get
42 and a
hurt in this
half.
game?
42 and a half. Take the
No, I'm saying just
under. Take
take the
Oklahoma.
under. Take the under, take Oklahoma. All right, that's the Red River Rivalry. All right, next big game on the list, Alabama going to red hot Missouri. The Tigers are rolling right now, playing great football on both sides of the football. Bo Perbula is one of the big gets this offseason through the portal. I bet Penn State would love a little Bo Perbula in their life right now after all the issues that they're dealing with offensively. But this is the biggest game of his career. He's played well this year. He's played against some good opponents, but he hasn't faced Alabama and the Crimson Tide and what they're bringing and what they got and the athletes they have outside the football. The question is, I'll throw it to a non-quarterback over here, is Bo Perbula ready for the moment?
Right. That's what you kind of want to see. But the good news, and I don't know if he is, I don't know if he is, against this team and how red, scorching hot Alabama is and how they're playing, right now. And it really seemed like in the second half of the Vandy game, that defense figured it out. Like that they looked the best that they'd look all year, physically flying around, making life extremely hard, for a mobile quarterback. So that's probably good practice for them before they go against Perbula here, who's maybe a little bit quicker, maybe a little bit more explosive, not just kind of that,
Perbula, let's
put
practice it.
yeah. Who has the speech problem right now? Me or you with the
I
different
mean, no, no,
words?
no. I had the first game of the season. We were saying Perbula in the booth
Perbula,
for an hour straight. We would look at each other and go,
Good.
Perbula, Perbula, Perbula,
I'm gonna
Perbula.
call him BP. I'm gonna give him a
And we
nickname
didn't mess
here.
up the whole game.
That's good.
Saban messed up on
You're a
the
professional. You're a professional.
pregame
You're a
show a week or
professional.
two ago.
But the good thing for him is, he has Hardy behind him, right? Like who is a monster running back who is very fun to watch. And, can that be a bit of an equalizer? Can you play a little bit of keep away, and sustain long drives and, make that offense a little bit flustered? That's always my thing. If I've got a dynamic quarterback across from me, how can I make him think about every possession is the most important because he doesn't know when he's getting it back? That would be what I'm fascinated to see from Missouri. Do they try to do that? Do they want it to be a track meet? Where do they feel comfortable in this game?
Well, I think handing the ball off to Ahmad Hardy is it. I think
Now
Ahmad
that
is the best. He is the best running back in the country. He's physical. He's great balance. 730 total yards, 9 touchdowns, 7.1 yards per carry. I mean, dude is freaky.
Yeah.
Talking with the staff before the game, they're like, dude, we had a home run with this guy. And we knew it the first time we put pads on him and he ran the football. And we're like, all right, we don't need to get him hit anymore. Like, we've seen enough. Like, holy smokes, this guy's it. And he's been that every game this season, over 100 yards in every single game. So he is terrific. They're leading the SEC in rushing with 292 yards. You go back to that game against Georgia. Where did Georgia have success? They themselves at times kind of played keep away and ran for 227 yards and 6.9 yards per carry. And Missouri's a better running team than Georgia. And it's at, obviously same thing, like at home. It was in Athens, it's going to be Missouri. So, I think you lean on him. And I think they got good receivers too. I mean, Bo's been great. He's been accurate. Kevin Coleman has been a stud get in the offseason. Their offense in the pass game runs through that slot receiver. And right now he has 39 receptions on the season. He is great there in the slot. Fleetwood's been really good, the tight end position too. So I think this offense, and I love Alabama's defense, don't get me wrong, but I do think this offense can have success running the football. It's just, is Bo mentally ready to play this football game and not look at the helmet, but just look at the defense and what it's presenting and just take completions or run the football when he needs to? Because he's a great athlete too, a tremendous athlete running the football. So it all comes down to, when he has his moments, buddy, just from experience, I played Alabama. Don't make those numbers on the side of the helmet, that crimson helmet, freak you out. Just play your game. You'll be just fine.
And that's tough to do, right? Because I mean, they've been such a standard, and a lot of these teams, the big dogs across the way, because you see that and you're like, man, growing up, that's what you want to do. You want to either play for them or play against them, and to get that opportunity is it's something not to take lightly. But you're right. Like, how can you minimize it to the absolute key? And there's no beating around the bush here. This is by far and away the best team that Missouri has played to this moment. And so when you kind of struggle a little bit with South Carolina, win by single digits there, this is a different animal. This is an animal that is cranked up. Like, Aaron, you think one of the top 4 in the country. I've been dragged along with you on that thought process. But I do think that Ty Simpson is the real deal. And I keep going back and forth between him and Carson Beck of who's the guy, just because he's so dynamic. He pushes I love to watch this guy. And I've had the privilege and the opportunity to watch him a bunch this year. The way he can manipulate the pocket. Now, he did take those 4 sacks, and 2 of them were really bad, and they were 100% on him. Just get rid of the ball. But just the subtle movements up, keeping his eyes downfield, and then the way he can just rip those hips and get into that ball, it's fun. It's fun to watch. And I think Jam Miller being back, I think we need to give that more credit than we are. That's a big deal. Like, he is a monster. And if they can get a little bit more dual threat, or a little more balanced, look out. This offense.
Well, they got balanced last week. I think that's the biggest thing that you put on tape now, that, hey, Jam Miller's healthy, fully back. He obviously got the rust knocked off of him against Georgia, but then he goes against Vanderbilt, a quality defense, and goes for 136, a touchdown, and 6.2 yards per carry. So, like, now if I'm Missouri, I'm like, oh my goodness, like, I got to worry about the running game. I got to worry
about. And Ryan Williams woke up. Came out of hibernation.
I got to worry about Kane Proctor.
Yeah.
What are they going to do with Kate in this game? What fun things are they going to do with the big guys?
That's right.
Well, like I said, like, you got early on the season Ty was terrific, and then it was why am I drawing a blank right now? Not Ryan Williams.
Oh,
Jeremy Bernard. Sorry, a lot of names flowing through the head right now. Jeremy Bernard. It was Jeremy Bernard being an absolute beast, and now all of a sudden Ryan Williams kind of had the game that he needed to have after he got that big pop against Georgia, kind of knocked him back into part. And then you're running the football with success. So this is an Alabama offense that now feels very complete to me, with, as you alluded to, a quarterback that's playing at a very high level, like Heisman level at the moment. So what does Missouri need to do defensively? And that is, you have to make them uncomfortable, because it has been really since that Florida State game where Ty Simpson just is sitting in the pocket playing 7-on-7. Versus Georgia, it was 7-on-7. Versus Vanderbilt, it was 7-on-7. He's got 3, 4, 5 seconds. And I'm not trying to take anything away from him, because he's been terrific. But when you give that quarterback that much time with Bernard and Simpson and everyone else they have on offense, he's going to dice you up. So for Missouri, they went into this offseason and they got better at the defensive line, especially those outside linebackers. They got Zion Young. They got, that's returning. They got Damon Wilson and Darius Smith, 2 guys from UJ that have come in and obviously the past 2 seasons to really give this defense an ability to get after the quarterback. Those guys must be disruptive. If you cannot put pressure on Ty Simpson, it's going to be the same old, and Alabama's going to score a bunch of points.
Yeah.
So for Missouri, keys to the game, if you want to win, run it with Ahmad, shorten the game up, just eat up that time of possession, and you got to be able to make Ty uncomfortable in the pocket.
Yeah. Which, again, harder, easier said than done, because he's seeing it. And I think it's going to be a point of emphasis for him too. Like I was so shocked. I know I talked about it the other day. I was so shocked when he said that he was, pissed about the game because he put the ball in jeopardy. He didn't give his guys, the best chance to win. So I have to think that he is going to be sharper, going to be quicker, getting that ball out, and who knows? Again, the final piece was Jam Miller. It feels like I think this offense is going to be really good. Give me the Tide, man,
Yeah.
with the points here.
Yeah, I like Alabama too. I'm so gonna wait to see on the points. We'll release our spread. Both of us finally got going on the picks last week when it comes to the spread. Just needed about 4 or 5 weeks of sample size to get a good feel for these teams. There's just so much unknown to start the season, but I think we got our stride going and gonna start making some more money. All right, next one. Let's go to the Big Ten. Indiana on the road against them Oregon Ducks and Dane Lanning. Two tremendous coaches, Kirk Cinetti and obviously Dan Lanning, two teams playing at a high level, two teams that can score a bunch of points. I love both these teams. I love both quarterbacks. I'm going to let you get the first crack on this. What's your initial feel with the Hoosiers and the Ducks?
Well, the good thing is we've seen both of these teams tested, right? Like we've seen Indiana play an Illinois team that we think is really good. And maybe for a second we didn't think that, but then they've bounced back, and Illinois has looked really comparable and looked very competent recently and still physical. And Indiana whipped them. I mean, to the whipping shed, and just time and time again. And then with Oregon, seeing what they would be able to do going on the road in a whiteout to Penn State. And I think they broke Penn State. I don't know if this is one of those situations that I know people love to say, well, look how good they really are or aren't. I think they broke them. I think they broke their spirit, and then they go and lose, to UCLA. You got beat twice. And when we see that happen all the time, with football teams. But I don't know. See, and this is where the difference is, and maybe really for both, honestly. I don't think either have seen as dynamic as a team as they're about to see going against each other. Like that now it's another fun test. They both have seen physical teams and maybe dominant, overwhelming teams for some, and they handled it. Obviously, Indiana handled it a lot better, won by a huge margin of victory. Oregon went on the road to one of the best environments in college football and got it done and kind of let the team back in it. It should have been a better victory than it was in regards to margin there. But now you're playing a team that you kind of look in the mirror and you're like, hey, that kind of looks like us. This team looks very similar to what we want to do, running the football, throwing the football, fast athletes, a quarterback that can, manipulate and take care of an offense and do really good things there. So it's fascinating how quickly Mendoza has shot up these boards. Like, he was fun to watch at Cal, but I thought there was some deficiencies in his game, and maybe that was because he wasn't surrounded by great talent, which it seems like he is now at Indiana. And then, you look at Moore, just a young cat figuring it out, slinging it, and should be very confident with his percentages and his speed. Like, those receivers, that still maybe is a little bit of a difference maker for Oregon. I love these receivers, man. They get out in a hurry, and they are not afraid. And then you got Sadiq, which he got a little banged up against Penn State. I assume he's going to be healthy and ready to go this week. But he's a great difference maker on the edge as well from a tight end perspective.
Yeah, I think the interesting thing for me when you look at Indiana and you talk about Fernando Mendoza and you look at a lot of mock drafts and he is number one and he deserves it. 73% completion, 16 touchdowns, 1 pick. Like, he has been accurate. Go back and watch that Illinois game and just dicing up that defense. But you think like, okay, well, they must be such a big time passing team, but they're the number one rush team inside the Big Ten. I mean, it is 1,300 yards, 6.1 yards per carry. They lead the Big Ten with 268 yards per game. So, like, this is a very balanced team that obviously the quarterback gets the recognition because of the way he's throwing the football and just how good he looks. But they can beat you in a multiple ways. So I think the big thing with Indiana is don't play the ghost of last year.
Correct.
The big thing was like, oh, Indiana went and played Ohio State and lost and, kind of got pushed around there, especially in the second half. And like, oh, they're not good enough to face the big boys. And that's obviously the big conversation this year. Like, is it going to be the same old thing where they beat the teams like Penn State, beat the teams they're supposed to beat, but don't really make it competitive against the big boys in that conference, the Oregons, the Ohio States, that sort of thing. So I think for them is don't make the game about that. Play your game. I do believe they are better than they were a year ago and have an opportunity to make this game competitive. And the big thing against Oregon is Oregon's you talked about they haven't faced an offense like this. And they're very young in the backfield, very young when it comes to the DBs. And we know, and I've talked about it multiple times, Penn State does not have right now Drew Aller playing at a high level, and they don't have receivers that really threaten you. That was not a test for Oregon and their DBs. This is a test. This is truly going to demonstrate, does Oregon have the secondary to go against an Indiana or an Ohio State? This is their big test. This is their big moment. And obviously, Dane Lanning is a hell of a coach and a focus on that defensive side. And we'll see if they're ready to go. So I think this is a great. I think you made a great analogy. Like this is two teams that are very identical. Can throw it, can run it. Have two quarterbacks playing at a high level. Two quarterbacks that are taking care of the football, both with only one interception, and two defenses that are pretty darn good, but still unproven, especially against teams that can throw the football. I think this could be a track meet. I really do. I think this could be a track meet. I
How
think both
fun would that
teams
be?
can get into the 30s. I think this is going to be a very, very fun, very entertaining game. I think Oregon wins at home. We see the advantage of playing there. I mean, go back to last year. They beat Ohio State at home, then go into the playoffs. Ohio State smashes them. Eugene is a tough place to play, one of the loudest environments in college football. I think that's the difference in this game. But I think Indiana makes it competitive enough where we sit back and say, okay, Indiana is legit. Indiana is a playoff team. Fernando Mendoza is pretty damn good. And Kirk Cinetti, Google me, bitch, because he's got a playoff team once again this year, most likely.
Who do you give the edge coaching wise? Because they both are so different, but very similar in the fact like they want to kill you. Like they are very confident in their preparation, very confident in their own abilities as coaches and the product that they put out there. I love Danny Lanning, dude. I think
I love
he is
both.
a bad boy. And just like his energy level, like after the games, he's like salivating at it's like, coach, calm down. It's just an interview, dude. The game's over. You won. And then, you see Signetti and he's just like, cool. Like, yeah, we just killed these boys. Like he's just calm, cool, collect, silent killer. I don't know which way to kind of lean there from a coach. If it comes down to it, like big decision is made, who do you think makes it and gets the win?
I think both are equal right now. Like if both said like, hey, we want to leave Indiana and Oregon, it would kind of be like 1A, 1B when it comes to the coaches right now. And obviously I don't think Dan necessarily would leave Oregon. I think he's in a great spot.
Right.
I think Signetti is one that we talk about, like if Florida comes open, he would definitely, to me, be one of the top guys, especially what he does on offense.
Right.
Obviously I always lean towards Lane Kiffin, but Signetti, to me, you'd be crazy if you're Florida, if that job comes open, not to look. So I think they're both great. Obviously, they got two teams that are very competitive, but what Signetti's done at Indiana now for a second straight year has just been wow. Like they are legit. Once again, like they are a legit playoff team.
They are.
And this is their moment to kind of go out there and shine. So
I
think competitive game, like I said, I got Oregon slightly winning this one. Where you?
I was going to say, let me give you a curveball, man. I'm going to go to the Hoosiers here. I'm going to pick them to cover here. I don't know if they win.
Well, no. I think
they
may cover because I think it's like 8.5. Like, what's the spread?
Set 7.5 right now. 7.5.
Well, yeah, I think I'm going to have Indiana covering.
Are you?
Oregon win.
Oh,
I'd say it's going to be close. I'd say it's going to be a close game. It's going to be a close game. I think. I give
we're
a slight
both taking the Hoosiers to cover, but Oregon to win.
Yes.
Wow. I like it. I thought we could split there. Dang, people are going to freak out when they see that graphic. They're going to have to read the fine print.
No one reads the fine print. No one ever reads the fine print. All right, we're going to have to put like in big bold letters. This is betting lines, not who we think is going to win the game. Especially in this next one, which I don't know if I'm going to pick Auburn to cover or not, but Georgia on the road in Jordan-Hare Stadium against the Auburn Tigers. Auburn coming off the bye week, trying to figure out how the hell to protect their quarterback, how to get things going in the pass game. And Georgia looks like they found their identity on offense, but still trying to really get going when it comes to the secondary stopping the pass. So I'll take the first crack at this, obviously being a judge guy. I think the big question mark is Auburn and protecting Jackson Arnold. You know how I felt about Auburn to start the season. Thought the offense line was great. I thought the offense line could be one of their strengths. And then all of a sudden they go against Oklahoma, which Oklahoma would make a lot of defense lines look like this, but we're god awful against Oklahoma. 9 sacks given up? It was crazy amount of sacks. Then you turn around against A&M and the same thing. The offense line was horrendous. The calls were horrendous. All the slide protections and getting fooled and tricked and A&M just ate you up. And you can say like, okay, well, there was 2 games on the road, loud environments, communication is going to be a little bit difficult, advantage defense line. Those are 2 great defenses playing in their home stadium. I get that. But it was even worse than just maybe that excuse to kind of to the point where it is a problem. It is a massive problem for Auburn. So did you make some corrections? Did you kind of reevaluate your plan with your offensive line going forward? Where is Jackson Arnold with his confidence? Because it was a great start versus Baylor, but it's kind of been just a steady decline since throwing the football, being accurate down the field. And, as we talk about with Arch Manning, it's hard to build confidence when you don't have confidence with the guys in front of you. So for Auburn, can you protect Jackson Arnold is going to be the make or break if you make this game
Right.
competitive. Initial
Right.
thoughts there about Auburn. What do you got?
And I think what's interesting is, and it kind of stinks because we keep talking about how great these receivers are, but you don't have a quarterback that can take advantage of that. We talk about
No.
the lackluster, defensive back play, which I thought would be a huge, benefit for Alabama, and it was that. I don't think Auburn can take advantage of that. I don't think they can unless you're just literally scheming guys wide open, which we've actually seen, and we've seen them not hit that. I don't see them throwing the ball effectively on Georgia strictly because of their quarterback, not because of necessarily anything that Georgia's doing. And can you also, Georgia, get after the quarterback? Like something you did so well when you're playing in playoff games, winning championships, that just hasn't quite been the same, this year for whatever reason. And that was when they're sending 4, sending 5, sending 6. Like it's not getting home. And quick game,
It'd probably be the
quarterback
breakout game where
recognition.
Georgia gets after the quarterback. I think that's what all Georgia fans are hoping for.
Right. Like that's what we want to see. I want to see that, and I want to see Georgia run the football. And if I do, then you're like, okay, maybe they figured something out here. Maybe you're getting a little excited. Maybe there's some rematch things occurring on the horizon there. But those are the two biggest things that I'm looking at from a Georgia perspective. And then sure, if you are Auburn, like, man, you have these great receivers. Can we please get them the football somehow, some way? I don't know.
It's
I haven't
mind-blowing
seen it.
when you look at the stats. You literally look at the stats, and Eric Singleton leads the team with 27 receptions, great, but 9.8 yards per average.
Yeah.
Cam Coleman only 17 receptions. Like those dudes
Right.
are not getting enough touches. Like
No.
Cam Coleman should be getting at minimum 5 catches a game, even if
Right.
they're just hitches. I don't care. Just get the ball in his hands. Like he has to touch the ball a minimum. In this game alone against Georgia, I would say a minimum of 6 or 7 times. Has to touch the football. Give him opportunities in the red zone. Throw it up. Georgia has struggled. Go back to Tennessee. Georgia has struggled with some one-on-ones. Being able to win contested balls. Cam Coleman is one of the best in America at winning one-on-one balls in the air. 50-50 balls.
Gotta
He's
lay it up for 'em.
tremendous. Give him that opportunity to do that. Flip it over. Georgia, to me, has found their identity running the football. Chauncey's been terrific. I think he's RB1. He's taken that room and kind of made it his thing. Gunner is running the ball really well too, but you are going against a really good front seven and a front seven that can stop the run. Can Gunner be accurate and make the right decisions in the pass game? And he's shown us that he can do that on the road. Go back to the game against Tennessee. I think this to me is right now Georgia's biggest hurdle, obstacle, most difficult challenge, whatever you want to say. Auburn, nighttime, on the road, and against a really good, a good defense. This defense has played lights out this season. It's been the offense that has struggled. So this is their biggest challenge. How good is Georgia's run game truly? How good is this offensive line, which showed some weaknesses early on in the season? Have they truly figured it out and now can just line up and play bully ball and protect their quarterback and not have to throw the football 35 to 40 times? So I think this is a great challenge for Georgia's offense. I think there's going to be a big challenge for Georgia's secondary if they do get time to throw the football. I'm talking about Auburn here. But I just think overall heading into this game right now, Georgia is overall the team that's playing better on both sides of the football, should have more confidence heading into this game. And I still worry that Auburn offensively is lacking the confidence to go in there and be able to make those big splash plays that they're going to need to make against this defense.
Yeah, no, I'm right there with you. I totally agree. And again, like your quarterback is probably going to be seeing ghosts in his home, kind of venue there. You look at the past 2 games against OU, he got hit 1 billion times. Against Texas A&M, he got hit 1 billion times. And so how can you, Georgia, scheme that up to at least where you're getting close to him? Because he'll probably just run into you, to be honest. Like there's something to that, a quarterback getting stuck in that frame of mind of, I've got to go. I got to get out of here. I don't want to get hit again. And then he just kind of runs right into you. So, how can you do that? And he's still dynamic. You can't just fly upfield. You can't open up rush lanes and let him.
Well, he's
got
got to get running. I think that's a big thing for him. Like if Jackson's just got to get more involved in the run game. I think that's a pivotal part.
Which you got to call as a head coach. You got to get it going and let that guy move. But sitting in the pocket ain't going to be it. I think Georgia rolls in this game, man. I am fading Auburn badly right now. And I think Georgia wins close to double digits on the road.
Ooh, I don't know what the spread is. I
3.5. Come on, go big. Join me. A lot of room.
You said 8.5?
3.5.
Oh yeah, Georgia covers. Never mind. For some reason, I thought it would be more than a touchdown, but I think Georgia covers that. I think Georgia wins somewhere in that like 7 to 10 range. I don't know if I'm going to necessarily say
let's
like
go
they're
10,
gonna
12.
get to 10
to 12.
Yeah, I think it's more around a touchdown. I still think this Auburn defense at home, can muster up enough, and I think Georgia's still gotta prove to me that they can get off to fast starts. This is a team
That is
for the
one
past
thing I
year and a
do wanna
half.
see. You're right, you're right.
Yeah, they have historically not been good early on in football games, and teams get up, and if Auburn gets off on a fast start and they get the crowd juiced, very difficult to play in that stadium. So, Georgia cannot let them get energy early, and get that crowd really involved in the football game, but we both like Georgia to win and, with the points as well. All right, let's go to another Big Ten matchup as Ohio State goes on the road against Illinois. Give you first crack at this one. What are your thoughts on this game?
I think we got two quarterbacks playing really well. You know, you
Yeah.
look at Julian Sayin and the things that he's doing. It felt like they opened up the playbook as much as they had last week, against Minnesota and, getting these great receivers involved. Obviously, Jeremiah Smith is what it is, but
Mhm.
Tate, let me tell you, that dude is a beast. He is fun to watch. He can go up and get it, and they're just really balanced. They have a great, balance attack there with Jackson in the backfield as well. A guy that can put his head down, can hit speed, can hit power, whatever you kind of want to do there, and they're playing at a really high level. But then you look at Illinois. And you look at Altmaier, who went for like 4 something last week, probably played his best
Ugh,
game, has yet to throw a pick, is just he and Carson are like the ultimate game managers. Like
yep.
they will take care of the offense. They will make sure you're in the right position. They know what they're looking at, know where to get the football going, and they're going to deliver. And they're going to do it at a high rate there. So I think Beatty, whatever his name is, the wide receiver, has been playing at a continuous high level since the Duke game. That was like his coming out party. Continued to be a big force for them. And then just the defense and the physicality. It's a big number. It's 14.5 favorite to Ohio State. Is Ohio State that good? Are they fading Illinois a little bit, even though they looked great a week ago? It was Purdue. I understand that. I'm excited to see this one, buddy, but I do think Ohio State flexes their muscles here.
Yeah, I think this is a bad matchup for Illinois, to be honest. I think you look at this Illinois team, and I go back to even when I was studying them because I had the Duke game the following week, and how much Duke gave them troubles throwing the football. And obviously, that's a Duke offense that has speed, inside quarterback that can fling it. But then you keep going down the line of okay, what has given Illinois troubles this year? Well, Fernando Mendoza, we just talked about him, 21 to 23 for 5 touchdowns and 267 yards against his defense. Jaden Mayava threw for 364 yards and 2 touchdowns against this defense. This is the worst defense in the Big Ten, giving up 252 yards per game through the air. And now you're going against a Julian Sayin who's completing 80%, with Jeremiah Smith and Cornell Tate, and then Bo Jackson and what he's doing running the football. I just think this offense for Ohio State is like, are you kidding me? Like this defense and the physicality and everything, like
Yeah.
they may be physical, but they can't stop the pass. They can't stop
Right.
the pass. They're not good in the back end. And it's not just one game. It's been 3 games where offenses have torched them through the air.
Mhm.
And this may be the best passing attack of all of those.
Right.
So I think Ohio State is going to have a field day against this offense. And flip over to the other side, Illinois, you're going against a really good set. Your strength throwing the football with how good you've been with Luke Altmaier is going against the strength of what Ohio State's defense is. So for Illinois, you got to find a way to run the football. You got to find a way to get off to a fast start. But overall, I just think it's a really, really bad matchups for all the reasons I just talked about. I
Mhm.
think Ohio State, like you alluded to, I think they flex their muscles and win a big
Yeah.
time margin here in this one.
Yeah, and these guys defensively, like I know, you and I, we love some sexy offense. We love to push the ball downfield, but this defense for Ohio State has been nasty too. Like they
Yeah.
are killing dudes. 7 points, 0 points, 9
See, what they
points,
did to
6 points,
Washington
3
was great, and that's a good passing attack at Washington. They shut
Shut
them
it
down to
down.
under 180 yards.
Yeah, they're fun. They're fun to watch. So I do agree. I think it's going to be tough for Illinois. Maybe turnovers, ball bounces a weird way. You're at home, whatever that's
Yeah,
worth.
could be.
But I think I'm taking Ohio State with the 14.5. I think they roll. They
Yeah.
roll.
All right, a few more games here we'll get to real quick before the end of the show. Florida going on the road to Texas A&M. Florida
What are you
coming off a
thinking?
massive win against Texas. Can they
What are you
own the state
thinking?
of Texas with a big win against the Aggies who are rolling right now? Let me jump at this one real quick. I think A&M defensively is for real. They have been, I questioned them early on the season. They've been nothing short of spectacular the last few weeks. The one thing, I mean, stopping Mississippi State in that offense, I thought was like, wow, like this is legit.
Mm.
I am concerned with the offense still, and I'm concerned for this reason. I think they try and get too cute with trying to throw the ball too much. Like, they're like, "Oh my goodness, we got Craver, we got Concepcion, and we got these star receivers on the outside, like, let's flex our muscles." And I know that people are still excited about that win against, Notre Dame and the touchdown at the end and all that, but this is still an offense. I think I saw this the other day. PFF has them as the number 1 offensive line in the country. You have legitimate running backs in Ruben Owens and Le'Veon Moss who have been balling out this season. When they're at their best is when they just decide to run the football. And I know that's going to be tough against a Florida defense that is very strong up front, but their identity needs to be running it and not trying to get cute trying to throw the football. I feel like it's like, oh, we're running it, running, and like, oh, let's try to throw the football all of a sudden. It's like, no, just keep running it.
Right.
It's working out. Just run the damn football. So lean into that this game. I think they'll be fine if they do that because Marcel Reed, like, he's been really good at times, but he's still completing 59% of his passes. Like,
Right.
that is not good.
Yeah, it's
I
not
still
helpful.
would like to lean on the run game a little bit more if I'm A&M.
And that's what we saw from Florida last week, right? And it worked.
Yep.
And so maybe, maybe this will be the turning point. They're like, okay, let's go, boys. Because as you mentioned, that defense is sick. In
Yep.
SEC play, defense or opposing offenses are 1 of 25 on third down. That is insane. That is crazy. These boys are flying around, making all kinds of things happen. And when you look at their best pass rusher, and Cassius Howell there, he's the sack master in P5 and P4. He's getting after the quarterback. He is a furious guy that gets out there and has a very versatile, range of moves, speed. He's a little undersized, 6'2", 250, but just a monster. Like, he's getting after it. So, Lagaway's going to have to pay attention to him. They're going to have to know protection-wise where that guy is and try to be mobile because Elko and the boys, they're dialing it up. They're going to send pressure. They're going to see that that Lagaway hasn't been super mobile, hasn't been moving around. What's up with the foot? Who knows? So can they try to confuse him with stunts and blitzes, get him throwing that ball a little bit earlier? He is coming off his best game. He had some crazy arm angle throws, but I think this is a little bit of a different beast, and you're going there, on the road, things of that nature. So I think if Texas A&M can run the football, I think they've got a great chance to win this game. Again, it's 7.5. Might take Florida to cover, but I think A&M wins the game.
I'll take Florida cover too. I think I still need to see more of, can you do it 2 games in a row before we start really feeling like Florida offensively is at a different level? And obviously having Dallas Wilson in the offense, we saw the difference he made a week ago. What kind of confidence does he have now going forward as well? It's like the weapons are there. Jaden Ball's there. Can DJ do it back-to-back weeks? I need to see it back-to-back weeks before I start fully getting back on the I love DJ Lagway train. I just think A&M
You
right
never
now
left, man. You've been on the train. It's all good.
I'm hoping. I love his game still. I just think at the end of the day, A&M defensively at home gonna be tough. Their run game is tremendous. The offensive line has been tremendous, and Marcel Reed is still good enough to make it happen. Just would like to see a little bit more consistency from him. But I think overall A&M is the better team, and they win this game at home. But I'm kind of leaning towards Florida with that 7.5 points. All right. Michigan State, Michigan, USC, big topic here, or big thing for me is I like Jaden Maava. I think he's a terrific quarterback. I think they got weapons. I think this offense is good. I just think this is truly, I know this is, I don't want this to be a cop out, but it is what it is. Michigan is a physical football team that will run it down your throats. Their young quarterback is playing well. Their running back has been elite. I just think, to me, these are the games that USC struggles when you can't. And it happened versus Illinois. Like, they cannot handle when teams want to get physical with them. It's the same story over and over again. And I'm not going to just say that it's not going to happen. It's I'd be an idiot to not say it's not going to happen against a Michigan team that is their brand of football, is being more physical. I think Michigan out physicals USC once again and gets the win.
I'm right there with you. I think what Haynes has been doing, how special he is, seeing, Underwood, there was a lot of hype and excitement for, a week and a half, and then he's kind of come down to earth a little bit. I still think he's going to be a tremendous player when it's all said and done, but just he's learning, he's figuring it out. But you're right. I think the physicality is going to be too much for USC. They're explosive. They've got some fun weapons. But when that explosiveness gets hit right in the face, things kind of change, and guys don't really want to play football anymore. I'm right there with you. I think Michigan wins this game, which that would be an upset because USC is favored by 2.5 in this game. So give me the Wolverines money line, and I feel really good about that.
Too. All right, real quick to finish off the show, the big matchup on Friday night, South Florida going
This
to
is
North
playoff
Texas.
football. You're joking, but this is playoff
4-1
football.
versus 5-0. This is big time American playoff football here. It feels like a team from the American is going to be the team in the playoffs, whether that's Memphis, North Texas, South Florida, Tulane. Obviously, in the conversation, Navy's 5-0. A lot of good teams in the American Conference. I'm going with my South Florida boys from Tampa, baby. I think that defense is absolutely tenacious. I said it before that Florida game, just how impressed I am with that team on that side of the football. And I think Byron Brown is terrific in the offense too, throwing and running it. So I think South Florida goes on the road and wins the football game.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I think that physicality certainly will travel, but look out for old Mestamaker over there, man.
Oh yeah.
Freshman quarterback for North Texas. He's slinging it pretty well, sees the game well. They've got some fun pieces, and I know our boy BG is locked into this game. I can't
Oh
wait to
yeah.
get his thoughts on it. But I do think South Florida clearly has been tested. When you look at the schedules, they're not super comparable.
No.
So I think I'm going with the Bulls there as well. And I don't know if I'm going double digits, but it'll be more than a 2-point win. I mean, these guys
Yeah,
are going to get.
I agree. I agree. Well, appreciate everyone joining us here on our Week 7 preview show. I would also appreciate it if you like, subscribe. The goal 40K is the next one. I think we just got to 31,000. So let's get to 40K here the next month or two, and then we'll continue climbing our way up. But we need you. We appreciate you. Have a great week, and we will be back on Thursday with our deep dive show with Colt McCoy, the former Texas great and legend, going to be breaking down in more depth the game against the Sooners. So check into that on Thursday and have a great week, everyone.
Okay.